have entered the AquaBrain. I'm your Virgil Drew. On today's show, we're going to catch back up with Jeremy Jensen, the man that makes Grassroots Powdersurfing happen. If you haven't seen our last discussion, check the link out. You'll like that chat. We kind of go into the history of Grassroots Powdersurfing and whatnot. Without further ado, welcome to AquaBrain. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm well, man. How are you doing?
Right on. I'm doing good. Got a little bit of a shiner yesterday up in the mountain. I'm not quite sure how that happened.
You're not sure how it happened?
No. Well, I slammed really hard, but I thought it was my helmet. So I don't know. Must have been just maybe how the helmet hit the goggles or something. I don't know. Does it look bad?
It doesn't look too bad.
No, I don't know. My wife's like,
you weren't that pretty before.
No, I know. And my nose,
I'm just kidding.
I had to touch it up a little bit because my nose was like, I was like Rudolph over here. But so how's the season been treating you?
It's been great. Yeah, it's been really fun. We're having pretty rough year for snow. It's extremely dangerous out. We finally did get some snow, so yeah, so now it's that rotted out 3 feet of base that we had for the past 3 months is pretty rotten, and yeah, avalanches are prevalent. A bunch of people just died the other day.
Oh, ouch.
But yeah, it's real touchy, and so that's been different. But just been keeping it a little more mellow, riding hippie powder and hitting features and things. And
yeah,
you know, there's plenty of ways to have fun without having to go find the gnar every time. So
yeah,
so it's been a lot of fun. I've been having a blast. Yeah, I've had maybe 35, 40 days or so
sweet.
Already. So yeah, it's been a lot of that was extreme low tide rides, but super fun. It always is. We've been doing a lot of split surfing. Because there was just, you know, pockets way deep that you had to get to find deep enough coverage for the first 2.5 months of the season, it felt like. And now things are starting to fill in a little bit more. We still only have like probably less than 5 feet total at the, you know, upper elevations, but the last week and a half, a couple of storms helped quite a bit. So it's starting to stack up. It's just highly dangerous out. So still just playing it smart.
Any advice for the folks out seeking the thrill?
Be mellow. You can live to shred for a long time if you keep it mellow and smart. And of course, you know, if you're going out in the backcountry, check your local avalanche forecast, of course. I check that daily, whether I'm going or not, you know, so I'm up to speed with what the wind's doing and what the snowpack's doing and what's sliding and where and what aspects. So if you get into the backcountry, obviously do that, study that stuff, just like a surfer studies the weather like crazy to find the swells and find, you know, what's coming. So the Powdersurfer kind of does the same thing. But yeah, it's touchy. So educate yourself, bring, you know, a buddy and all your gear, know how to use it, practice with it. All the cliche things that they tell you over and over again if you're getting out into the backcountry, and a lot of people are this year. It's pretty wild. There's a lot of new people getting out there. So yeah, keep it smart.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if there's if you're running into people kind of encroaching on some of your, not, maybe that's not the right word, but you're you know, it's spots that you knew that you could go to and you never see anybody. Are you running into people now?
Yeah, there's a lot more people out. But like I say, a lot of the stuff I've been doing is so far away from where most people go that it's pretty deep, you know, like people don't get after it that hard, you know, or they just don't know where it is. And so I haven't been running into too many people, but I have been noticing, you know, way more than normal. And some of the busier areas around in the central Wasatch are being heavily overrun with people. And that's a bad situation. Yeah, I've just seen some photos in the last few days of of people on the skin tracks and hiking up in, you know, super dangerous places, just stacked up like lines of people. So it's kind of that's why I'm thinking it's a lot of new people, you know, because most people would know better in some of those sketchy zones to be hiking. But I mean, it's good to be hiking, of course. You just got to do it smart, you know, one at a time through the dangerous spots. And you don't hang out in the chokes where, you know, there's people coming down in the Wasatch. It's so busy, and people are, you know, these people are trying to boot up a couloir, and people are coming down that couloir, you know. So you're right there in the slide path. It's got nowhere to slide but on your ass, you know, on top of you.
God.
So is
that what happened?
Is a little. Oh no, what happened with the 4 people that died? It was a big slide on a fairly unsuspecting slope. It was only 31 degrees, so not that steep. But it was a high Avi danger day, and there was a lot of people out there, and so they haven't really done a full report. I've just heard from some friends and a couple of preliminary reports on what happened there. So I think they were skinning up. I don't even think they were riding yet. I'm not sure. It's hard to. They didn't look like there was even any tracks. I mean, the entire slope slid thousands of feet wide, you know, and so if there was any tracks, they were wiped out.
Yeah, and they just got taken out.
Wow. Yeah, into trees and such. Yeah,
it's pretty wild. My brother's up in Sitka, Alaska, and he just went. He's a Coast Guard helicopter pilot, and he went and he rescued a skier that was attacked by a bear in Haines. And it's like,
oh wow, because they're not sleeping right now, huh? It's like
I was like, wait a minute, aren't they supposed to be hibernating? He goes, man, I guess that just goes to show you, like, you get a little complacent, and you just need to take your pepper spray with you, because you just never know.
They are supposed to be hibernating in winter, but winter is becoming a different time in a lot of areas nowadays. It's pretty wild.
So speaking of my brother, he does a lot of split. He's a split boarder or whatever, but I was telling him about your split surf. Do you have you shipped anything out to Alaska? I mean, I know Alaska's huge and different terrain and stuff, but he's in Sitka. Is there a special shape or anything that you would recommend for an Alaska split boarder?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on his boot size and his weight and such. I've got 4 or 5 different shapes that are great for out there, specifically, even, you know, in a coastal snowpack. And if he's riding steeper stuff, you know, a lot of the time the shorter boards, a lot of people wouldn't think that, but a lot of the time the shorter boards can be better in the steep, so you can control your speed better, make quicker turns, more turns,
in through the trees and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Alaska is above tree line, but there is still some stuff near town, especially in a town like Sitka, where there would still be pines and such. But it's just, you know, Alaska's really steep, so you got to control your speed somehow, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, if you get a board that's really long and a long side cut, you're taking longer, more drawn out turns, but it's going to mean you're going to be hauling ass. So you know, and if you're on a big slope, tall, long slope, you're gonna need to control speed. I don't know. I've only ridden out there for a week one time, and yeah, it was a different snowpack, and I was appreciating my shorter board so that I could keep the speed under control, because you know it's steep in a lot of spots.
Right on.
And there is a lot of mellow stuff you can ride too. It depends on what they're after. You know, me, I'm like looking for steep stuff, but you know, the average dude out there could ride the guts of any drainage, and it wouldn't be that steep actually. And so it really depends on what they're getting into, what they're after. But yeah, if your homie wants to get in touch with me, I can get his specs and send him a couple options for sure.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, hey, you know, send him an email. He's down to answer questions.
Yeah, I'm happy to help people. I'd rather have people on the board that's best for them, you know, not the board that maybe they think the graphics the neatest, or you know, or or the only one I have left in stock. I'm not going to sell somebody a board that I don't, that's not going to fit them. I'd rather them have the right board, and that way they have a better experience, and then they're stoked, and then they stick around, they come back for more, you know, more shapes.
Tell their friends. So anything new for this year? Did you release any new shapes or any new products?
Oh yeah, we did a 140 pintail that was new. The 150 pintail we did last year as well, but yeah, I did a 140 of that. Those are long sold out. Having a hard time keeping up with demand this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm building as fast as I can, but it's people. The whole COVID thing has lots of people outdoors, and obviously the ski resorts are a joke, man. At least the ones I've seen, it's insane. So it doesn't surprise me that people don't want to deal with that, and they're looking to get in the backcountry. And then also there's across the West right now, there's a lot of dangerous snowpacks, and so people who are normally getting out of the backcountry are like, oh shit, I can't really go ski or snowboard the stuff I want to. Maybe I should try this Powdersurfing thing, and I can tone it down and stay safe and still have a good time. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things going on right now.
It's awesome. You know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's like the skiers, a lot more people are out doing it. So if you're out trying to enjoy it, you're sharing it. You know, maybe a little bit more
competition. Yeah. And especially if you're just getting into it, you're taking the low hanging fruit, the stuff you can see, and that's where everybody's going to, you know? Yeah. So it pays to know your zone and know where you can go to get away from, to get off that beaten path. You know, that's what's been so good about the split surfer. You know, you can get a lot further back in on that than you could with like verts or snowshoes. You know, like verts are a very, off the side of the road, closer, steeper approach tool. So a lot of that stuff, you know, you can see from the road and such. So of course it's like people are like flies to turds, you know, they'll see the track and follow it, you know, but on a split surf, you can get back up into stuff that there's no way they're going to make it back up in there. If they do, they're pooped by the time they get there. So no worry there. So it's been a big year for selling those. You know, I've sold a ton. I think I sold 3 times as many split surfers as I did last year. And those were fairly new too. Those I shaved off another pound of those and off of those. So they're super light, super quick transition, and they work incredibly well. Couldn't be happier with that whole situation. And so I'll be doing a bunch more of those actually in the future. Like for next year, I'm going to do a whole dedicated site to them.
Oh, cool.
And keep, you know, a decent stock throughout the year. So when people, you know, come February, March, if they decide they want one, you know, hopefully they won't all be sold out by then. They could be, but I'll concentrate on building a lot more over the off season for that and try to keep up with the demand.
So now what comes with split surfer if you get it? Is the only thing you have to buy extra or the skins, or do the skins come with it?
The skins are extra, you know, because some people have their own. But yeah, skins are pretty expensive. Skins are like $180. Yeah, $180 to $200. And then the bindings, we have 2 different styles of bindings. The Grassroots binding is like that one's like $210. The Spark style is $315. This is the Grassroots one. I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah,
but so anyways, yeah, like these are our own made branded. Super stoked on these. This is what I've been using a ton this year. The Spark ones work super well too. They're just you know, you pay the Spark tax, they're a bit more expensive.
Yeah, those look sick though, the Grassroots ones. Are those new this year, or were those last year?
Yeah. We did prototypes for them last year.
That
but yeah, I prototyped them and rode them all of last year and a little bit the year before, just to work out the bugs and everything and make sure they were strong enough. So we put, oh man, tens of thousands of vertical feet on those babies, testing them. So yeah, they've been through the ringer, and they're solid. They're sweet. They fold down. You know, it's like the size of they fold down to that, you know, you could put it in your pocket if you wanted. And they weigh about a pound and a half for the pair. So yeah, they weigh next to nothing. They're slick, easy on, easy off. Yeah, they work really well. Super happy with those. And we've been working on some other products too to go along with the split surf packages. But it comes with all the hardware you need, and then, you know, bindings and skins are extra. You're into like $1,100 or something. They're not cheap, you know.
Yeah,
they're really difficult and time consuming to make. And the hardware is expensive. Everything, any sort of backcountry junk, as you know, if you do backcountry stuff, it's expensive, and it's very time consuming and expensive to make. So they're not marked up any more than a Powdersurfer is, that just the cost that goes into it is way more. So,
but I can imagine getting out, just being able to get out and then pow surf. It's like,
you can go deep, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. And you get as many laps as you can handle. It's good stuff. But I mean, I say they're expensive. It's kind of funny. They're expensive, but they're still less than, some pow surfers out there. Some people are charging $800-$1,200 for a solid pow surfer. So you can get the best pow surfer out there and split and bindings and skins for the same price as you would be paying for one of theirs. So it's kind of funny when people say they're expensive or whatever. But
do you split all?
I mean, that is a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you split all the shapes, or do you only split certain shapes?
I just split a few of the shapes. The flying carpet in 150 and 140 in both wide and standard widths, and then the Megalodon 150 I split, and the Slasher I split. That's all I've been splitting the last few years. Barracuda a little bit, but there's just certain shapes that lend themselves better for the approach, and then for the way the clips fit on the tail matters a lot. So
gotcha.
Kind of a little bit limited in that regard. But next year I might do at least one or maybe two newer shapes that are more split specific, and that's mainly to get for the hardware to fit best and the tail clips to fit on their best. They might be notched a little bit in the tails or whatever, similar to how a lot of split boards are nowadays, that they're notched in the nose, notched in the tail, so you can actually put your board together while the skins are on it. I don't know how familiar you are with
not
split
not
stuff,
very,
but sometimes that's nice to be able to have your skins and crap on there and still be able to put the board together. Normally the hardware kind of gets in the way and you can't put it together, and so in transport it's a little weird. You feel like a bumbly skier, with all this shit, over your shoulder, fucking hitting people in the head and whatever. Three Stooges style. So it's a lot easier to put it together as a board for transport, put it in the back of your car, whatever, or on the back of a snowmobile, or wherever you're going. I don't get on Facebook much, man. It's been dead for me. Like, it doesn't get much reach at all. So if you want to follow Powsurf stuff, follow Instagram. It's
really,
that's where I put, because it actually gets seen by people, and then Facebook just doesn't push you out there unless you're paying them a bunch of money, which I'm not going to do. They just don't. The organic reach is terrible. Like, you have to pay to play as a business page. It's probably all right as a personal page, but as a business page, it's been terrible. It was great in the beginning, when people shared the videos and everything, and it got all over, but now it's hardly worth my time, and it's a time suck. And there's a bunch of like angry political people on there. Fuck that. I don't need any of that shit in my life. I don't have time for that.
It really is a time suck though, because you're like, I gotta go on here, I gotta check this one thing, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're scrolling through your thing, and you're like, what am I doing? It's like 20 minutes of nothing. And now I'm like,
but there's a lot of good on there too. There's a lot of cool groups and a lot of informative stuff going on. So I mean, it's good and bad, however you use it. I just don't have time for it. I got two full-time jobs and a family, and got a lot of shit to do. If I have any spare time, I'm gonna go riding.
You getting out there with your girls, or with your girl?
Yeah,
she's surfing.
Oh yeah. My daughter and my son is 3. So we got a storm in town, so we just went like up the road to the park, and my 3-year-old was slaying it that day. They were both doing really well. My daughter, awesome. Edie, she can take like big runs.
That's awesome.
She's getting pretty good, and she can even make shallow turns. Like, if I find the right slope for her, she can have a blast. And then my son Leo, he's pretty good. He's got good balance. He stands on it, and he goes where it goes, but he loves it. Yeah, they were having a blast. I was having a blast.
That's great. Yeah, I've been.
Yeah. And we'll go to the ski resort and such too, and we'll get in the backcountry. I'll take them up. You know, Christmas we went up into the backcountry and found some stuff. Like I'll take them up when the weather's nice, you know, and the kids can handle it.
Man, it's so nice sharing that. I've got my daughter a pass this year, and so I've been taking her up. I think she has 10 days so far. Nice. And and she's just she's on a snow skate, and we're she's graduated from the coach chair to the what's called Morning Star at Bogus, and cruising cat tracks and going up and doing walls, and it's like it's just, you know, like
good.
She's beating me sometimes down the cat track, you know. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. You know?
I'm excited for that, for my kids to catch up like that. Like right now I follow them. I'm on a snow skate and they're on snowboards, you know, and so I'm either following them, trying to keep them from going too fast and out of control. Like my son, who's 3, I have to do that. He's on a little leash, you know. But I get a snow skate behind him, so it's good fun. And then my daughter, she's linking up turns really well now, and so yeah, I can cruise on a snow skate and hit stuff on the sides while I'm chilling with her, and it's a blast. But I'm excited for the day where I have to like chase him, you know, like it'll get me back, you know, fired up again on snowboarding and snow skating at the resorts again. So I've been on kind of a hiatus, just riding powder forever, but the kids will bring me back to that. You know, I'll have to be at the resort more, and so I'll enjoy the hell out of that. You know, that's the beauty of the kids, man, is they make you young again, and they make you appreciate all that stuff you forgot about. Even just riding the lift, like my daughter's like heckling skiers, you know. She's like, make me a pizza. I want some French fries, you know, just heckling people on the lift. Like it's like the good old days. So yeah, I'm stoked to get them out and, you know, build kickers in the backcountry again. Like I've been off that trip for a while, you know, because my body's been all beat up, but I'm excited to, you know, once my daughter gets to wanting to jump and stuff, and my friends' kids are starting to want to build jumps, so we'll totally circle back and start hitting kickers on our snowboards again, and then we'll all be pow surfing together in 10 years when they get really, really good at that. Man, it'll be awesome. Or probably way less than 10 years. We'll be pow surfing together on big stuff soon. I think the kids pick that stuff up really well. I rode a first descent in Jackson, like a peak out there that I bet nobody has pow surfed before, with an 11-year-old a couple weeks ago. And he was killing it. And he's got, I mean, an 11-year-old that can hike 5,000 vertical feet to the top is badass enough, but the kid can pow surf too. And then another kiddo who was 8, who we were riding backcountry laps behind Targhee with. Both my friends' kids that have just, you know, they've got good dads that have put them on the right path since the beginning, and they're ripping little pow surfers right now.
God, it's awesome seeing. And of course,
they rip at snowboarding too, and they rip at snow skating, and you know, they rip at anything they try because they got good parents.
It's awesome. Hey, well, Jeremy, thank you for joining me in the brain, man. It's awesome catching you.
Yeah, you bet. I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, super good to talk to Jeremy. Glad he's doing well. Thanks for joining us. Here's a video. Here's the link